Some incidents are so shocking that even though they are true, they are hard to believe. Today, we are going to tell you about one such true incident. The story goes like this. A woman goes missing and is later found, but she is found in 22 tiffins, boxes, cut into 300 pieces. Yes, you heard it right. A woman was cut into 300 pieces. This woman was no ordinary woman. She was the wife of a retired army colonel from the Indian Army and a well-known doctor in the city. So who dared to do this to the wife of a retired colonel? What is the full story of this case and how was it uncovered? Let's find out everything in this video. Believe me, when you learn about the killer and the motive behind the murder, it will shock you. You'll also be stunned to know about the weapon used. But before I start the story, please subscribe the Crime in English channel and press the bell icon. So, let's begin the story. The incident took place in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, in an area called Nayapali. In a large bungalow here, Dr. Somanath Pradhan, a retired lieutenant colonel from the Indian Army, lived with his wife. Dr. Somanath had joined the Indian Army in 1970 and retired in 1992 as a lieutenant colonel. During his service, he was known as one of the best surgeons in the Army. After retirement, he worked for the World Health Organization for a long time. Later, he started his own clinic in Bhubaneswar. Dr. Somanath and Usha had 2 children, a son who became a doctor and settled in America, and a daughter who settled in Dubai. Both children lived far away, but stayed in touch with their mother over the phone. However, Dr. Somanath had a short temper and didn't get along well with anyone, not even his own children. Socially, he kept himself isolated. Despite living in a large villa, only he and his wife lived there. Dr. Somanath had a strict routine. He would sleep at 6 p.m. and wake up at 3 a.m. Time passed like this, and the year 2013 arrived. Dr. Somanath's children would call their mother once or twice a week. In June 2013, when the son called his mother from America, her phone was switched off. He thought she might be busy and tried again later, but the phone was still off. The next day, he called again, but the phone remained off. Worried, he called his father and asked about his mother's phone. Dr. Somanath replied that Usha had gone to Dubai to visit their daughter, which is why her phone was off. However, when the son called his sister in Dubai, she said their mother wasn't there and hadn't spoken to her in days. Confused, the son called his father again, accusing him of lying. Dr. Somanath shouted at him and hung up. The son tried calling multiple times, but his father didn't answer. Frustrated, the son called his maternal uncle, Ranjan Sambal, who lived in Bhubaneswar, and asked him to check on his mother. Ranjan, along with another sister, went to Dr. Somanath's house. They knocked on the door for a long time, but no one answered. Finally, Dr. Somanath opened a small window and spoke to them. When asked about Usha, he repeated that she had gone to Dubai. Ranjan insisted that he was lying and demanded that he open the door. Dr. Somanath shouted at them and closed the window. Ranjan then tried to peek inside through another window and noticed a foul smell. Sensing something was wrong, he immediately went to the police station and reported Usha's disappearance. The police arrived at Dr. Somanath's house and tried to get him to open the door. When he refused, they broke in. Inside, they found Dr. Somanath sitting calm. Ranjan had mentioned a foul smell, so the police began searching the house. In a locked room, they found 2 large boxes, the kind Dr. Somanath had used during his army days. At first, the police thought the boxes might contain army memorabilia, but when they opened them, they were shocked to find 22 steel tiffin boxes filled with small pieces of meat. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was human flesh. All 22 tiffin boxes were filled with carefully cut pieces of meat. When questioned, Dr. Somanath claimed that his wife, Usha, was a devotee of Sai Baba and had accidentally killed herself by banging her head on the ground. He said she had asked him to cremate her in Shirdi, and since he couldn't transport her body whole, he had cut it into pieces and stored them in tiffin boxes to take to Shirdi gradually. This claim was bizarre. How could someone kill themselves by banging their head? The police didn't believe his story and intensified their investigation. They discovered that the head was missing from the tiffin boxes. After a thorough search, they found Usha's severed head placed neatly on a table in the living room. Dr. Somanath had used chemicals to reduce the smell and had even sprayed fennel around the house to mask the odor. During interrogation, Somanath confessed that he had killed his wife during an argument on June 3, 2013. He claimed that Usha often accused him of having an affair with a girl who worked at his clinic. That day, the argument escalated, and in a fit of rage, he hit her on the head with a steel wire, killing her. To hide the body, he began cutting it into pieces using surgical tools like scissors and knives. He bought tiffin boxes from different shops to avoid suspicion and stored the pieces in them. He also bought chemicals to prevent the smell from spreading. Dr. Somanath, being a skilled surgeon, had no trouble dismembering the body. Each piece was about 6 inches long. The police investigation revealed that Usha had suspected her husband of having an affair with a clinic employee, which led to frequent arguments. On June 3, 2013, the argument turned violent, and Dr. Somanath killed her. He then spent nights dismembering her body while continuing his normal routine during the day, even celebrating his birthday at the clinic after the murder. On June 22, 2013, Dr. Somanath was arrested and charged with murder and destruction of evidence. His children returned from America and Dubai and testified against him in court. Based on the evidence and testimonies, Dr. Somanath was found guilty. On February 25, 2020, he was sentenced to life imprisonment and fined 50,000 rupees. Do you think justice was served? Let us know in the comments. For more real crime stories, subscribe to Crime in English and press the bell icon. We'll meet again with another true crime story in the next video. Thank you.